Hi. Today's gonna be a little bit of a different video. You probably already figured that out because of the weird angle and stuff that I'm doing here. It's gonna be kind of more akin to the rant video we did about the bad DVD argument. So we'll be doing stuff with that as well. Topic of today's is the no, I don't want to say storm, but the cloud of negativity that always seems to be hanging over Dead by Daylight and life in general in a lot of cases. And just kind of looking at that and how to avoid falling into kind of getting suffocated by that cloud of negativity. Because I feel like that's something that I struggle with a lot. And you may be struggling with it too. I hope not. But that's something that that you may deal with as well. So let me get into this. So it's been no secret that if you've watched the streams lately, I've been getting pretty bored of the game of Dead by Daylight. I still love it. It's still my favorite game. But the meta has been pretty consistent for me for the entire 7 months that I've played the game so far. So I've been pretty grumpy about it. And the reason I've been grumpy about it is A, because I'm a grumpy person, unfortunately. It's one of my least favorite things about my personality, but I'm just a grumpy person. But B is I've been watching a lot of Dead by Daylight media, analyzing the things about the game that bother me. I've been watching a lot of videos about while a lot of them talk about how Ruin Undying, at least in its pre-patch form, is really gross and really strong. I watched a lot of videos that talk about how Decisive Strike is too strong, which they are thankfully fixing next chapter, unless they change their minds, so that's good. Talking about how the meta hasn't changed in a really long time. These people that made these videos, and I'm not gonna call people out or anything, but people that made these videos have been playing the game for thousands and thousands of hours. They have 4,000 plus hours. They're very well known in the community, and they'll make a 10-minute rant video talking about how there's just no love for the game anymore. The meta is stale, or they just hate the game because of the way behavior is conducting things, or they're talking about how, with the Ruin Undying thing, they tried to fix that immediately. They tried to. There was one video I watched in specific from a 4,000 plus player who's really popular, really well known in the community, and he did a 10-minute video talking about how Ruin Undying got nerfed immediately, in the first 3 or 4 months since Blight came out, right? Whereas DS is finally getting fixed, but it's been a problem for much longer. I'm not going to put an exact number on that, but it feels just based on people I've talked to in the community for more than a year, if not years, which is pretty hurtful. That sucks. That's pretty hard to deal with. But I've just been watching so many videos about just people just being really unhappy with the game. And as somebody who plays this game 4 out of the 7 days a week, I feel that, they talk about things that bother me. They talk about things that affect me. But yeah, this is something that I really resonate with, but somewhere along the line, I just started feeling really negative, really negative. That person even said in their video that they could go and play around a lot of the perks that he was complaining about because he is such an experienced player, but that's not true for a majority of the player base. And I instead of working on playing more and doing more of those things that I could use to try and improve and just spend a good time with my Twitch boys, my Twitch family, and kind of enjoy the ride, I've been just so torn up and upset about behavior's ignoring us with this, behavior's ignoring us with that, and just listening to a bunch of videos that kind of confirmation bias my feelings about that. And I've just gotten really, really upset, really angry. I've been feeling just so torn up about the whole thing. And I just want to say that don't do that. Don't do that. It's okay to look into topics and see if other people feel the same and that sort of thing, or if that's something that's on their mind, and getting like analysis, second opinions, evidence, etc. Like that's good stuff, and good on the content creators that make that sort of thing, because that's like really good and really healthy for like the game and the community. But like what I'm saying is like I feel like I took it to like a really negative extreme. Like I was just like watching so many videos of people that were burnt out on the game. I was watching so many videos of people who were just like fed up, and I mean fed up with the way things were in the game, whether that be because of the devs or because of the perks being overpowered or whatever. Like I was just like constantly indulging in this content that was, you know, even though it was truthful in almost every way, it was like it's negative. And like I wasn't taking a break. Like almost all my Dead by Daylight content I was watching wasn't just like, ooh, look at this really dumb video, or look at this really dumb build. It was always like these long commentary videos about like why the game sucks right now. And it's hard to not feel like the game sucks if all you're watching is content about the game sucking. Because I don't think the game is bad. Like it's one of my favorite games of all time. It's just got some really glaring issues that people seem to be passive about fixing. That's it. That's literally it. It's not that big of a deal. But like when you watch video after video after video after video about, you know, people being upset about it in the way that, you know, you're upset about it, like it gets worse. Like you get more upset than you would originally be, because you're just like soaking in all that like huff and puff energy, you know, all that toxicity. Like it's going straight into your blood, and it just comes out in those moments. So I guess if there's like anything I want to say with this video is just like be mindful about the content and atmosphere that you're creating. Like there's nothing wrong, like I said, with like looking into these things, getting intelligent with these things, you know, learning about these things, and supporting content creators that do work hard to make these things. But like be mindful of yourself. Be mindful of what you're doing, because like while you may be doing those things, you maybe think you're helping or becoming more intelligent about the matter or learning, etc. Like you got to understand that you are human. You are a person. Like you are someone who has a finite amount of things that they can take, whether that be emotional, physical, whatever. And you can push yourself over the edge and push yourself into a bad place if you just constantly stew in a negative or, you know, not so positive aspect of like your content intake or whatever it happens to be. Like if you this extends to anything really. Like this extends to like if you have a bunch of friends that put you down all the time, you're probably going to develop low self-esteem. If you only watch shows that are like, oh, like life is meaningless, you know, and that's like their main theme, and you watch a bunch of shows where that's like, you know, that's the main theme, you may start to be a little nihilistic, even if the shows are really good. Like you got to be really mindful about like what's influencing you and what's like happening, because it's going to get or what you're intaking, because it'll get under your skin and it'll change you, and not in a good way. And I feel like that's what's been happening. Hi, Chihiro. I feel like that's what's been happening to me lately. Like I've just been intaking so many like like not even negative, like they're very well made and they're very like informative, but like it's still not a positive thing to be like, oh, these perks are broken and they're kind of ruining the game, or the devs kind of don't care about this thing, or even being condescending in some scenarios. That's pretty depressing, you know. Like and if you take in a lot of that media at once, if you take in a lot of those feelings at once, you create a pretty bleak outlook for yourself that may not be representative of the truth of the reality, you know. So if not just for your own mental health, just like be very mindful about the cloud, the atmosphere that you're creating around you. Like I'm not saying like don't just ignore the truth if like, you know, a perk's broken and it's actually making the game super unfun, because that's definitely still the truth. But like what I'm saying is like maybe, you know, watch something that's fun, or play a video game that's fun if a game is being really negative, or if you watch like 5 negative YouTube videos in a row talking about how much the game sucks right now, or this aspect of the game sucks right now. Like watch like a funny cat video, or watch like somebody's art stream or something. Like do something that's like a lot more relieving and fun to like balance it out, because that's where the problem is. It's not that, you know, these videos are really bad. Like I've been saying, is like these content creators work really hard and they're spouting a lot of truths, but for your own mental health and just for the atmosphere that you're creating around you, you really need to be mindful about getting sucked in to that energy and getting sucked into that world. Because that's how like you wonder how these people exist that are like, wow, Dead by Daylight's so terrible, and they keep playing it nonstop. That's a different video, by the way, that I also talked about. But like the people who just like seem to just absolutely detest this game and have no love for it, but keep playing it and just do nothing but like dog the game nonstop. That's how those people exist, because they're not self-aware that they have been intaking all this media, talking badly about the game, or at least pointing out the negative aspects of the game over and over and over and over again. And you know, like a year later, or even like months later, after like getting into that side of the community, because that does exist, it very much exists, you just get this like higher than thou, like condescending energy, and it's very toxic and it's very bad. Imagine this. Imagine actually liking Dead by Daylight. Imagine those kinds of people, you know, the cringe people. But yeah, just to reiterate, like that's how we get to this spot. That's how you get all these people that are making those imagine jokes and like being really toxic and like, or like the really mean players in this game that like teabag and flashlight click, and they're like, and they are mean in after chat, and they hate the game. They think the game sucks. They think the game is terrible. And then the forums complaining every time they have an official Dead by Daylight like stream. They're in there spamming stuff that has nothing to do with anything, because they've just been enshrined and so enveloped by the negative side of this game for so long, so long, that like they just can't see it straight anymore. And this is like a word of caution to you. That's like the main thing I want to get across in this video. This is a word of caution to you. Be mindful. Do checks. Like literally do checks. Like I would say, like, I don't want to put like a concrete time frame on it, but like maybe at the end of the week be like, have I just been taking a lot of negative content about this game, or just like things in general? Because you don't want to have that terrible outlook. You just don't. You don't want to fall to the dark side, so to speak. So TLDR, make sure that you're not taking in so much negative content that you're like skewing yourself or jeopardizing your mental health, even if these negative things are talking about the truth or truthfulness of like things that are actually happening. Just be mindful that you are a human and you can only handle so much, and you don't want to end up like those people that are just like completely negative about everything and just like super toxic and and at the end of the day super unhappy. It's very super unhappy. Yeah, so I don't think I have anything else really to say. That was kind of a long one, a very long rant. We're going to intersplice things here and there. I hope this helped you, or at least is, you know, constructive in some way. I don't really know what else to say, except I appreciate you. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening to me rant about stupid things that, you know, I think are important, and I hope you think are important. But other than that, I don't think I have anything else for you. I appreciate you, and I'll see you when I see you. Bye-bye.